Let's see, let's just check the temperature. Oh, it's only 75 at 6:19 a.m. July, I believe it's the 29th. Yes, July 29th, and I am back from Asheville. Welcome back, or welcome to Late Bloomer Garden 2.0. Well, I'm Kaye, and I am glad you're here. I am fearful of what I'm going to find when I take a look around. No one was here working except for my young helper was watering for 2 hours late on Sunday, so it hasn't rained, and the plants on the driveway look good just at a glance. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you just what we call in the movie business a pan. It's a pan shot. We're going to go around like that on all my different gardens and just see the overall of how they look, okay? So the sunflowers in the flower garden look fantastic. I can see them from here. They're 10 feet tall. Well, they look 10 feet tall. They could be 9 feet tall. But they're multi-bloom, and that's the beauty of the Lemon Queen sunflower. And you can get those seeds at Botanical Interest, which is one of my affiliates. So grab the link below and help out the channel if you decide to order seeds. They have everything, but they have a lot of sunflowers, and I planted all Botanical Interest sunflowers this year. So if you're interested in sunflowers, I have a video up there when they looked fantastic, so check that out. I can see a couple of sunflowers. They were volunteers. They've popped up on the lower garden. I mean on the, I get my gardens mixed up, on the terrace garden. So basically, if you're new here, I live on a little over 9 acres after being an urban gardener in a tiny lot in Pacific Palisades for 25 years. That's where I started my channel and my gardening. Here, I have a lot of space to develop gardens, but the problem is I'm older, and how much can I do without help, and then how much is help going to cost, and where's the money going to come from for that? And so there's a lot of considerations, and I've been told numerous times by my fans who really care about me, Kaye, cut back, you don't have to do so much. And there's just this impulse in me, more, you know, and this year I've topped out because I've just seen it cannot be taken care of. You know, you have a thought in March that you'll be able to take care of a little new garden over here and a big garden over here, but the reality is weeds. And now we're coming into the dog days of August. I don't know how much rain we're going to get, but the forecast is starting tomorrow. It's 30, 40, 50, 40, 30, something like that % for the next 6 days. Well, that would be fantastic if we got a little rain every day starting tomorrow. But I can't take a chance. I've got to look around and do some watering after we get done taking a look. And so some things are just on the way out, but also coming back from Asheville, you go right by Johnson's Nursery and Garden Center in Cookeville. And, you know, it doesn't look great in there like it did in the spring, but they've got a lot of butterfly bushes, and I did a short, and I'll put a link right there, yesterday, just a short clip of the butterflies on the butterfly bushes. It wasn't milkweed. Milkweed is the host plant for the monarch butterfly, which I rarely see here. And I had just told the man, very, very nice men and women that work there. Usually I have a man helping me because he's carrying a load of stuff out to my car and trying to fit it all. I had the Prius, trying to fit things in. So I walked back. He said, well, I was looking for aster. okay? Because I know I had the most beautiful aster. And aster flowers, you can actually make tea, and I made a video about aster flower tea, so if you haven't seen that, I'll put the link right up there. That was about 3 years ago. I had a massive, I think I had more than one, but I had one that was at least this big, bush of this lilac, bluish, well, lilac is bluish, flowers of the aster, and that is where I discovered the monarch for the first time here. And so I knew that that bloomed in October. It was blooming in October when that happened. And so I specifically went in there because I don't need any more plants, okay? I have too many to take care of. But, you know, my focus this year has been more on perennials, you know, what's going to come back and give me something next year so that it doesn't all have to be planted over again. And I went in and specifically asked for aster because I knew it bloomed late. And a lot of things have already bloomed. You'll see on the thing, beautiful blooms in spring, beautiful blooms in spring. But very few things are beautiful in the late summer. Aster was. And so he showed me his aster. He just had about 10 little pots like that, and they just look spent. He said, I just brought them in. They're just in really bad shape. And I'm going, that is not going to recover in August. So I want to start with a plant that looks vibrant. And so of course, you know, I'm there and I couldn't help myself. And I picked up another, these are so gorgeous. They're different from the regular black-eyed Susan. And these are, well, the leaves look different, so all I can say is Rudbeckia hirta, H-I-R-T-A. And, you know, some black-eyed Susan just have the black center and not the copper ring around the center, but these have the copper ring, and they have a leaf that's, well, it is kind of rough, but it's smoother than the other leaves on the regular kind. So he had both there. Now I have a ton of black-eyed Susan in the meadow, but the meadow does not get any irrigation whatsoever. It just depends on rain. So I have a feeling it's not going to look very good. The weeds don't need rain though. Just FYI, if you're starting gardening, weeds don't need rain, so you don't have to worry about that. Oh my goodness, my cardinal basil looks like it's dying. Okay, I'm going to give you a quick look around. And I'm just so glad, happy to be back. It's bittersweet because I left a gorgeous, chubby little leg, beautiful, smiley, happy baby, grandbaby. And don't know when I'll see her again. But at least I got home safe. And I brought a few babies home with me too. I've got 2 butterfly bushes and yet another Rose of Sharon. Can't get enough. And they're still blooming, so let's take a look around. Okay, this is the new driveway garden. When I moved here, there were 4 cedar trees just sitting here with a bunch of rocks at the base and variegated periwinkle, which is very hard to get rid of. And one by one, the trees went. And we finally got the rocks out of here recently. And this just developed one day. I just said, I want a trail. I want to feel like I'm walking in the woods. So we're going to go up the trail. This is native passion fruit called maypop, and once you let that go in your garden, it just goes. I'm not going to do every single plant. I've got way too many. I'll just give you a look around. I've got lilac bushes. Here's some maypop here. I see one on the ground and need to pick those up. Now this is a whole new development that we opened up here, so all of this space got graded the other day and tilled. So I want to put one of my cast iron garden benches here. This is my pomegranate tree, which I got from IV Organics, and it is growing and looking fantastic. I also got these need support. These are boysenberry And I've got the Asclepias tuberosa. This is the native milkweed, hoping to attract some monarchs. It is blooming, and just planted 2 more cranberry hibiscus in here, and this is Joe Pye weed. And that's a whole story in and of itself. There's the other, that's a brown-eyed Susan. Now we got to the weed pulling right here. This is where it stops. So all those weeds are actually encircling the rose bulb roses under there. The Greek oregano part planted here, which I started from seed, is not looking too great. This is valerian, and it put out a bunch of growth in the spring, and it's kind of looked like that the rest of the year. That's orange Thai. Got Thai peppers starting to turn yellow, and these are 3 maypop. So you're going to really think long and hard about planting maypop in your garden. Still got some zinnias, hollyhocks blooming over here. And this is ironweed, which just came up here. Had one here last year. This is now 6 feet tall. The anise hyssop was the showpiece the whole summer up until now, and it's pretty exhausted. I've got coneflower, Shasta daisy. That's in a, hopefully in a down cycle. I cut a lot of it back. Hopefully it'll be coming back. I've got chocolate mint and lavender and bee balm. I've got a ton of stuff and a lot of things over here too. Apple mint and snapdragon, sage, lemongrass, geraniums, rue, R-U-E. I don't know if you've heard of that. It's a great companion plant for fig. I could stick that in the pot with fig, but it also gets huge. Got some things here. These are my biblical thyme herbs in these pots here. And look at this poor cardinal basil. I have got to get that in a different pot. It just dries out in that pot, and it shouldn't, because there's a reservoir in the bottom. This is a volunteer pepper. This is a volunteer elderberry. And this is an overwintered basil. Need to trim that back. This fig I started from a cutting. And this is comfrey, turmeric, another tomato, and the last vestiges of the hosta blooms over here. That is my back deck, which houses my 2 fig trees and 3 citrus, and hopefully will be getting redone. This is my, what do you call it? Gardenia. Smells fantastic. I saw this table and chairs on Facebook Marketplace, and it seemed to be like a really good price, in good condition. They had just repainted it, and so that's going to go on the back deck. I have a feeling I bought the exact same color I already have, but what are you going to do? This was the prettiest, healthiest looking plant, and 2 butterfly bushes. I wanted them in all colors, but these are new additions too. Caladian, is that what these are called? I think. There's supposed to be a tag in here. No tag. Good deal. Okay. Never grew those before. So if you're here for the very first time, this is my raised bed garden. We finally got a fence around all of this. That's my blackberry arbor down here. I've got 8 raised beds, 4 4x8, and 4 6x8, and all that needs to be redone. The blueberries are done. They produced amazingly, and the last of the blueberries went into a blueberry cobbler right before I left. This is terrace number 1, and Chase did such a good job weeding this and putting hay down that not that much has broken back through, but it looks like the beans want to be done. There's a nice looking pepper plant down there, but this is the main thing I wanted to show you, and that's a volunteer. I said don't weed whack that. That's a zinnia, and that's another one. I planted that one though. They're the deer down there. They're going, what are you doing out? You see them walking through there? Yeah. So these are celosia, and there's different kinds of celosia. These seeds I got from the daughter of David the Good. He has a wonderful YouTube channel. Check it out. It looks like they are pressing out. I mean, these look like massive plants, and I had no idea. But the flowers are lovely. Look at this. Yes, I'm pretty proud of that. I've got a lot of calendula here. Oh, it looks like the okra has bit the dust from all this heat. Not enough water. This okra was just gorgeous. I guess the celosia is drought tolerant because it's the most vigorous thing in the garden right now. My rose mallow hibiscus over here was stunning, but all the blooms are gone now. And that's a fig bush. I actually gave a stake to the longest piece of it, which is kind of turning into a tree. And I was told not to cut the other branches, so that's what I've done. Anyway, all of those raised beds over there need to be, the stuff needs to be pulled out. The beans are still blooming, even though, look at this. This could be the Mexican bean beetle, I don't know. But that pepper looks great. Let's see. Oh, that's an orange tie. Fantastic. Oh, fantastic. I didn't realize I had an orange tie here. This would be a great candidate to dig up and take in for the winter. The other one is just too big. Okay, obviously this would take way too long to do the details. I wanted to show you the red Malabar spinach. It is a great plant that you can grow in your kitchen window in a glass of water. It will grow and grow, and you can pinch off leaves and put them in your veggie scramble. But look at this. Randy built this trellis here. And I had something else before which was not ideal. I had it growing through deer netting, and that's really hard to deal with. I've got a roselle, oh brother, in there. All of the red Malabar spinach here is volunteer. So this row was just roselle, 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 and then I had 2 or 3 eggplants in between. Eggplants have not done anything this year. I've got another one down here, volunteer tomato, and all of the red Malabar is volunteer. And I had Randy build the trellis. Well, I took one piece inside and put it in some water, and it's got tons of roots. I could put it in a pot too, but look how it's growing out. This is an absolute weed. Look at these. Gorgeous. Sunflowers. I love these because they're not as tall and you can actually get face to face with them. So pretty. And the thing is, this would have been gone if we hadn't finally gotten the netting around to keep the deer out. I want to show you this. This is pawpaw. I have no idea. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Looks like the bugs have gotten the pawpaw. That could be Japanese beetle. I don't know. Japanese beetle is very destructive. I've never gotten a pawpaw. I've never eaten a pawpaw, but I've had pawpaw trees since I got here. This is also a pawpaw. We moved all of these except for that one. Moved that one. You know, I guess they just need water. Okay, here's a great long view of this sunflowers that popped up in the flower garden. Aren't they gorgeous? Just like those, but I just love volunteers. So this is that mulberry tree that I said I killed from being in the bag. All of that is dead, but I've got all this growing out of suckers. So I'm really wanting some advice, folks. You know, cut this, turn this turn these into 2 trees? Do you have to have rootstock for mulberry like you do with citrus and apples? Or can you just make a tree that has good fruit by propagating these 2 stems? Because it looks like the main trunk is toast. Okay, this is my side garden. And what is growing in here, if you haven't been watching, is pole beans on the trellis, far trellis behind the corn. Of course, the corn, which I detailed the growth of in another video. I'll put the link up to the left. And the giant squash and all of the weeds. This was all, I wish so much I had put the weed cloth down all over, but it only got around the perimeter. Better than nothing, but boy. These are peppers, and oh my goodness, don't they look interesting? Those are little peppers that I heard about and bought through, I saw the grower on Twitter. Okay, I hear Randy coming, and all of these weeds around the perimeter. This is, I'm going to look this up, but this is actually a medicinal weed. But oh my gosh, it's such a monster. And there is no way you can pull that out. It hasn't been raining, so look at that. And it goes right through the fence, this giant. That's the giant squash that I grew about 3 years ago. This is a different one. This may be the red curry, and all these are weeds. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, you can't even see the squash for the weeds. Oh, what shall we do? Oh my goodness. I mean, do we have squash? Or is it just leaves and vines? Because that's looking a little bad. That's just cucumber right there. That's lemon cucumber. I had a couple of those. But where are the squash? It's looking kind of bad in there. I can't even get in there. Oh, it's looking bad in that corner too. And then I've got some interesting heirloom beans, pole beans growing right there. Oh my goodness. Okay, this is going to have to be a part 1 and part 2, folks, because this is getting kind of long and we haven't even gone to the main garden. Well, wait, I see a butternut, and it's laying in the river trench. Oh, that's going to be, oh, that does not look healthy. Oh, it's squished right there. Come on, give me more than that, folks. With all these vines, what happened in here? I've also got tromboncino in there, and I really wanted tromboncino. Now I'm going over into my side, I call it my side yard, where it has to be mowed. Otherwise it would all look like that. Okay? That's what it looked like when I got here. And so now it looks like that. And I've got 3 pecan trees and late bone set, and that hasn't bloomed yet. This is Chinese bush clover. It's kind of a gnarly weed too. All right, I'm gonna have to go get to work, and I am so glad you were here for this part of the tour, and we'll do part 2 later today, and it'll be up tomorrow. God bless, thanks for watching. Oh, here's the memorial garden. The main area between the plants is tilled, but there's big weeds all around each plant. There's no point in trying to pull weeds when it hasn't rained. It's so hard. It's hard on your hands. But look at this. This looks exactly like what I just bought. So pretty. So pretty. Okay. Thanks, guys. Have a wonderful day, guys and gals. And One good thing is the calamandin lime is blooming. Oh, it smells divine. Oh my goodness. I wish you could smell that. And there's a bumblebee right there. Right there. More than one. They're going to town on that. Fantastic. Have to get some water on that. Okay, this is going to be exciting. Oh my goodness! I really didn't imagine it was possible. You think it was the mothball? That might be all we need on the side then.
Well, they couldn't smell it, I guess. The mothballs.
Yeah. My goodness. Thank you, Randy.
Oh, you're welcome. There's okra underneath the cucumber too.
Oh, okay. Good deal.